right, let's get to it. Here is our very special guest. His name is Eric Trump. His dad is Donald. He's running for the presidency. Mr. Eric Trump, welcome to the program.
How are you doing, Stuart?
I'm doing very well indeed.
Good to be here, as always.
Let's get right at it.
Yeah.
On Good Morning America today, a couple of hours ago, Kellyanne Conway, general manager of the campaign, said that your dad might reach out to the Kahn family. Now, anything on that?
Well, listen, last night he gave an awesome speech. We were in Charlotte, and he came out, and I was so proud of him. I was there, but he came out and he goes, "Listen, I've made mistakes in the campaign. I've probably overreached a little bit.
We've not heard that before.
I probably said things I shouldn't." And this, he's a politically incorrect guy, right? He's never run as a politician. That's not who he is. And I thought it was so cool. I thought that kind of the humble Trump, and by the way, that's a father I know. I mean, the guy's got a heart of gold. He's an amazing person. He's an amazing guy. He's been an incredible father to all of us. And, that's the man I know.
Is he going to keep going? Is he going to go further? Is he going to reach out to the Kahn family? This is the Gold Star family that he took issue with after the Democrat convention. I mean, he could enhance what he said last night by making that outreach. Is he going to do it?
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Do you know whether he's going to do it or not?
No, I don't. Yeah, I think he'll ultimately decide. And, there were some bad things said about him. And, there's a little, obviously, back and forth. And, my father has been more pro-military and more pro-veteran than probably anybody in the history of our country. I mean, he thinks it's a disgrace what's happening to our vets, right? I mean, they come back from war zones. They come back from wars that, quite frankly, we shouldn't have been in, that cost this country trillions and trillions of dollars and, thousands of lives. They come back and they're totally forgotten about. My father has been more pro-veteran than anybody else. And I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he very well could, and we'll see if that ends up happening, but that's really his decision to make.
I just want to know who wrote that speech last night, because it was very well received by an awful lot of people, and who made the call, let's go to Louisiana. Let's go where the president will not go. Who made that call?
Listen, if there's one thing about the Trump campaign, it's, it's run from the top, right? It's not run just by a bunch of little people. It's run from the top. There's a lot of people who give opinions, including myself, but, it's really run from the top. My father spent a lot of time on that speech, and, he's sitting there talking about it. He spent a lot of time talking about the African-American community yesterday, and if you look at that community, right, if you look at inner cities, you have 60% unemployment. The schools are failing. You've got, massive high school dropout. And forget about, the prospect of going to a great college. And he's saying why don't they have the same opportunities as so many other Americans? And why do you have these problems? And by the way, it's the failed policy of Democratic candidates and, quite frankly, Democratic government that have caused this awful system. Yet they take those votes for granted.
He's very much on message, going after key constituencies. And he's staying on message. He's staying on prompter. Why didn't he do that throughout the month of July?
Yeah, listen,
why not?
He's a guy who speaks off the cuff. He's larger than life.
Well, he used to. Is he going to stop doing that for good?
No, he'll absolutely keep doing that. Listen, you can't change a person's personality. He's larger than life. He's not politically correct. He'll never be politically correct. He'll never be a politician. I mean, I think he'll really go down as one of the great case studies of politicians right in the world. I mean, he's done something that no one else has done before, and that's what makes him special. And by the way, that's why he got 14 million votes in the primaries, right? Which is unlike anything that anybody's ever done before. So
I have to ask you almost a personal question. You're Donald Trump's son. He could be the next president of the United States of America. You ever think what it might be like to be the son of the President of the United States? It must go through your mind.
It's amazing. Listen, if you don't pinch yourself every morning, a year ago I was building hotels all over the world, and now, I'm sitting here talking to you about, policy, right? I mean,
well, what happens to your business if he does become the president? I mean, do you have to step away from it?
No, I stay in New York, and we run the hotels, and we run the golf courses and the residential buildings and everything that we have, and, he's 100% dedicated to this country, and that's what he'll do. And I've worked with him for the last decade, right, in our company, and there is no better person in the world to negotiate for this country. There is no better business leader. He will not allow the waste and abuse that you see that's endemic in government. He's an amazing leader, and he'll do a great job. And by the way, when there's a natural disaster happening right down on our Gulf Coast, believe me, he will not be out there playing golf. The man will work and work and work, and he'll do a great job for this country.
Thanks very much for being with us this morning, Eric. Don't be a stranger, okay?
I love coming on occasionally. Send the invite over, all right?
Eric Trump, everyone, and we appreciate you being here. Thank you, sir. Good stuff.